Ta-da! I think we're live. There we are. Oh, our names are backwards.
That's all
Hi,
right.
I'm Sheree then.
We can switch locations.
Okay.
I think people get it. I think I'm Cherie. He's Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris. And welcome to Technomadia's live Sunday night quarantine something hangout.
Yes, it's been a while since we've done one. It's crazy. When we first got to Sanford, which was a month ago today, we thought, oh, we're just going to fill the time. We're going to do lots of live casts. We're going to catch up on a lot of our fun video production. Ugh, I just have lacked the energy to do it.
Yeah, that sort of stuff. But we have been doing a ton of work, and it's amazing. We just kind of dawned on us, it's been an entire month today since we got to Sanford, which is, oh, wow. I mean, it has been a very long month, as I'm
Feels
sure.
like a year.
And also, it feels like we just got here yesterday, too. So it's this time has gotten very, very strange. Not just for us. I'm sure everybody is experiencing that weirdness right now.
But it was really interesting. Earlier this week, the Wall Street Journal interviewed us for an article about RVers and boaters displaced from the pandemic. Because, as you know, a lot of campgrounds have closed down. People have lost reservations. They haven't been able to get into the places they want to go. And
not traveling for vacation, but I mean, their places, their houses are mobile, and the places that they were planning to be for sheltering have kicked them out in some cases, and that is really not cool.
Yeah, even Joe, our moderator here, he was caught up in this. And it's really just a bad situation, as so many campgrounds and marinas were not staying open and not accepting new arrivals, even for long-term stays. So it's been difficult for full-timers to shelter in place during this. But we are very blessed that we were able to choose to come to Sanford, Florida, which is where we spent last winter, and come back here because we love this town.
The winter before.
Last winter,
yeah.
before.
Yeah, okay,
whatever,
right. Yeah,
whatever.
whenever. Rewind. it's time has gotten weird. So yeah, so we decided when we saw this pandemic on the horizon in February, we made the calls and decided, let's get to Sanford. Let's, instead of just trying to cruise around, let's have a place that we know we've got a power source to plug into. It's a great community. We have not too far from family or friends. Not that we're doing any socializing, but at least we know they're there.
When restrictions lift, that we can see the families nearby. And hurricane season is coming up. And if we're going to be anywhere on the East Coast or the Gulf Coast or anywhere in the hurricane zone, Sanford is fairly inland. We're about 45, 50 miles inland.
Right.
Yeah, thereabouts. Yeah. I think so. So we're fairly well protected from the worst of a hurricane.
Yeah. So the continues the Wall Street Journal. So they were doing this story about where do nomads and cruisers and boaters and RVers and stuff end up for the pandemic, and they called us and did a brief interview. And the story came out, and it's kind of amusing that they put us as marooned in Sanford, and we're like, it's about as far from marooned.
Yeah, not my definition of marooned, being stranded and isolated. No, we're very much here by choice, and there's nothing. Yeah. Okay. So the worst part about being in Sanford right now, of course, the theaters and a lot of the restaurants are only doing takeout, of course. But we have 5 places within walking distance that are filling growlers from local breweries, and we have to make a choice.
We haven't even had a chance to try them all yet. And, they're having like contactless pickup. You give them your credit card over the internet and you come by and they have your growler sitting up. You grab it and walk away. I mean, how good is this town? And there's even a distillery that has repurposed their distilling to be making
hand sanitizer
out of, that's like they're still selling their hard alcohol. But hey, you can walk over and get hand sanitizer and vodka all at the same place.
So definitely not marooned, definitely not roughing it here. Life is actually, considering the situation, we feel incredibly blessed to be where we are. And several of the restaurants are open and doing takeout. So we've been trying to balance our own safety of going out and supporting local businesses and staying in and cooking. So
that is our status of being marooned here. Actually, might be appropriate to show off those cards too. So some of the local business organizations have gotten together and they're having the I Stimulated Stanford cards. So if you spend over $10 at various places, restaurants in town, you get these cards, and then you collect 12 of them. You could turn them in for an I Stimulated Sanford t-shirt. So, this town is really doing the things we love about this town to help support each other. There's a lot of good stuff going on here. So it makes you feel good about going out and putting your mask on and braving the elements to get a growler of beer and some takeout.
Yes. We also have, because we're on Lake Monroe, we have a wonderful lakefront walking trail that we can get out, keep active. We have an exercise bike on board. So keeping active and fit and keeping the blood flowing has been fairly easy.
Yeah.
So it's been really good. And then on good weather days, we just take the boat out into the lake and anchor out and get some anchor out time.
So we did it for the first time last week, and we're like, why don't we do this all the time? It's like 2 or 3 miles away. We can just be anchored, really socially isolated, beautiful. The weather's still good enough at night on most nights that it's comfortable out there, and just go anchor out for a couple days. So we're going to try and mix that into our weeks when it makes sense, because why not? We could work anywhere. We're very fortunate in that regard.
Yes. So that's the other thing that we feel extremely blessed in is we already work remotely. We already run a business helping other people work remotely and entertain remotely over mobile internet and keeping that up. So business has been business as usual for us. The demand is still there for the information that we create. And technology is continuing to change. We're tracking 5G and low Earth satellites.
And if anything, people are more concerned about working remotely. They're trying to set up home connections to be equivalent to what they were doing in their offices and stuff. So we're work-wise very busy. And so I basically this story is we're making the best of it. We hope you guys all are too. I hope you're taking it seriously.
Well, it's not to say it's all rosy and everything. I mean, we definitely have had a lack of creativity lately.
Yeah.
I think
depression sitting in.
Yeah, definitely. We go through moody spells and lots of intentions of catching up on Technomadia content, and I've just not been able to get into it. And we really thought we'd be doing more of these lives, and I just haven't had the extroverted energy that I was hoping for.
Yeah, so this is an experiment tonight and see how this goes. And let us know if you enjoy this sort of thing. And if you give us positive reinforcement, we might do more of these. But there's so many other live events going on from people that were like,
does anyone really want another live event? I'm tired of them.
But there's some of them are great. We've seen both big international things and just friends playing music and stuff. But it's still, I'd rather be there with people in person. And sometimes it makes you frustrated just to see them on the screen.
Exactly.
And
so anyway, this evening, last week on Instagram and Facebook, we shared a meal that we had made at Anchor, actually. I did a veggie curry in the Instant Pot. And we had a lot of people ask for the recipe. Well, I don't do recipes. I just make stuff up. But I thought this evening I would cook a veggie curry on camera for you guys in the Instant Pot so you can see how easy it is. And continue to take questions, hang out, and
drink beer, and chill. And before we hop up, let's just show them the map, because we also have gotten the question of... It's over my head, so you could talk. How did we get our boat to this Lake Monroe? People are confused. It's so far inland. So Sheree, explain this map.
So this is the course we took from Savannah. So we did this over 5 days of cruising time. So if you're driving it, it's a 1-day drive. It was 39 cruising hours for us to get here. We did that over just a few days once we decided to get here. We don't want to risk getting any shelter-in-place orders that would have gotten us restricted anywhere. But Sanford is along the St. Johns River. The St. Johns River starts in Jacksonville. Actually, it starts down in Indian River County and flows northward up to Jacksonville and exits out at the inlet there. So we entered in at Jacksonville and then followed the St. Johns River down. And Sanford is the southernmost spot along the St. Johns River that you can get a boat of our size to. So it was about 120 miles from the inlet in Jacksonville, I think. To here?
Yeah, it is an absolutely beautiful cruise, and we recommend it for anybody. And let's go back to this video. Bing. Oh.
Why is it every time we get on video, there's a sailboat that almost crashes into us? Okay,
yes,
cool.
The marina dock is right over there, and the sailboats tack in on Sunday is a common day for people to go sailing. So
yes. Yeah. All right, so we're going to get to the Instant Pot, and then we'll sit down and take some questions.
Yeah, so we're not really monitoring the questions so much right now. So we'll go back and read them later. We love the comments, but we're not seeing them on this screen. But I'm going to go grab the mobile camera, and I'm going to switch to the camera's microphone. So hopefully audio in the kitchen. There we go. And now Sheree's going to talk about food.
Da-da-da. Yay! So welcome to our little kitchen. We love the galley on our boat. If you don't know, our boat is a Baylander 4788. We've had it now 3 years. And one of the things we loved is the layout of the galley and the salon, nice and open, big windows behind us, all around us. But the galley is just very, very usable. This is an Instant Pot. I'm sure you have seen these all over the internet. It is basically a pressure cooker, a slow cooker, a saute thingy, a boat rice cooker, all-in-one sort of thing. You can do all sorts of stuff in it. I honestly don't use it all that much. We don't do nearly as much with it as we could, but curries are one thing. Curries and stews and pulled chicken and something are pretty much the things that we do. We also make beans up in it. So anyway, what I'm going to do, I have already chopped up some vegetables. Just took what we had in the fridge. Groceries run will be later this week, so we're getting down to some of the more less perishable vegetables right now. So I have some sweet onion, some potato, some carrot, broccoli, and I have a yellow pepper that I have chopped up here. You can use whatever vegetables you like. I was going to put some tofu in here, but did you know there's a tofu shortage going on right now? It's really hard to get tofu for some reason.
Tip for those not looking ahead, carbon dioxide is starting to get in short supply, so there might be a beer shortage soon and soda shortage, so keep that in mind.
So first I'm going to turn it on to saute mode. That basically just heats the bottom. And I'm going to pour some oil in here, and this evening I am just using grapeseed oil. And that'll just heat up, and then you just use it like a saute pan to begin with. Grab our spatula. We found we have to have multiple spatulas. We use these so often. And I'm just going to put the onions and the potatoes in. So there's a misnomer about the Instant Pot. When I bought it, I thought it was going to be like a food replicator on Star Trek, where you would just come up to it, you say, I want a stew, and it would make a stew.
It says instant on the label. You would expect that sort of thing.
But it's not really all that instant. That's just why I don't use it that much. You have to pre-think your cooking in it and what you're going to put in, because once you close it up, it's sealed and it's cooking. You can't go and add flavors and things like that, which is what I like to do when I cook. I cook pretty much just by instinct. So I'm sauteing first just so I can pre-cook some of the vegetables and kind of get that little bit of that sauteed taste to them. And then we do the pressure cooking phase later. And it has to get up to pressure, and then it has to stay at pressure for a while. There's nothing instant about this thing. Badly named product, is my opinion.
But it technically actually is a pot, so at least there's that.
And definitely not 420 style pot. It doesn't do that. Well, I haven't experimented with that. Okay, we're just going to let that saute it for a little bit, just stirring it around with the onion. I usually will generally let it saute for 5-6 minutes, just so the vegetables are starting to get lightly browned. And are there any questions we can address?
I'd have to go swing the camera back around. Okay. I can hold this up here for a second and see. Any Instapot questions? RV Frida just made chicken on her Instapot, and people are swapping recipes. And Captain Chris points out that 3 years already, many loopers don't even own their boat for 3 years. Yes, true.
That is true. We originally set out to do the Great Loop, which is generally a 1-year adventure for a lot of people. We thought it'd be a 2 or 3 year adventure. It's probably going to be a decade-long adventure. And a lot of loopers are right now, those who decided to continue on this season, they're finding that the locks up in the Erie Canal are not going to be opening as early at all this summer. So that's going to be an issue.
I guess Eric Udell's here, so another boater who's
yes, and he's
in
anchored
Melbourne.
over to Melbourne,
yes,
which is where I lived before we hit the road.
Awesome. Okay, there's sizzling happening over here. Good. Somebody complained about the audio, but it turned out to be something not us. So I think our audio is good. That's good. Larry Overstreet's in Lakeland, Florida. Hope you guys are having fun at least sun, if not fun, at the Sun and Fun. Ron's up in New Hampshire with snow. Lots of people here, so I'm just going to say a big general hi or wave, Sheree, because you're pointing at the camera. I'm not.
Hi.
Lots of people saying hi. I think I got a lot of good people here.
You want to come?
Okay, there's sizzling happening. Whee!
So it's working just as a sauteer thingy.
Oh, it already smells good.
And then, what are you going to show off?
I was just going to show off. Look at this. From the Escapers Bash, we make sure our sleepers friends.
Yes. Have not. Yeah, it's way too early to know if we'll return to RVing this year or not.
No, I think nobody knows that right now.
No one knows the plan. We are like mentally prepared to stay here in Sanford on board the boat for the long term. We do have the van with us. We have a Travado, and it is here in the parking lot with us. We're using it as a daily driver to run errands if we need to. And if RVing becomes an option locally, we'll go do some camping trips off of it. And then we have the bus is out in Arizona in storage at our co-op lot out there. And if it's safe to move about the country later this winter, we may return back to Arizona, but we'll just see how it all feels.
You can see out in the marina next to us, there's actually a riverboat, a real paddle wheeler parked behind us, the Barbara Lee, which is unfortunately, following the rules, it is grounded. Not aground, but it is not taking tourist trips out right now, but it's also a great thing to do if you're in Sanford. And there were some people asking about Kiki. She was just in play mode, that's why that's out. And now she wore herself out. Hey, Kiki. Yeah, say hi to your fans.
Kiki's been going a little stir crazy because she usually does get off the boat some, and it's just too warm really here in Sanford. And going down the dock, there's alligators, so we don't let her walk on the dock here. So we have to take her on shore. And we have taken her on shore a couple times on the leash, and people come up and want photographs because apparently a cat on the leash is still a rare thing, which is so normal to us. So we've taken to letting her watch bird videos again on YouTube. To keep her entertained. Yes. And she actually had birds come up here on the windows.
Yes. Ooh, smells good.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn off the sauteing, put the rest of the veggies in here. And I'm also going to put some lentils in. I like using lentils because they don't require really any pre-soaking and they work really well in the Instant Pot, and it's a great little source of protein.
Somebody sent a thumbs up for the lentils. Okay, if you like lentils, thumbs up. Great.
Okay, now next. To make a curry just means spice, by the way. There's no magical recipe here. You can use any blend of spices that you like, usually a Thai influence, an Indian influence, some Asian influence, or it could be anything, really.
Well, I don't think a chili would be called a curry then.
No, well, so, technically, it could be.
Yeah, I guess so.
Anyway, Chris's mom gave me this a couple months ago. It's a Thai 7 spice. It's got paprika, coriander, something that starts with an F that I can't pronounce, black pepper, cumin, ginger, mustard, turmeric, cinnamon, and cayenne pepper in it. So I'm just using a spice blend. And I'm just going to put roughly about a teaspoon in there. Tablespoon, whatever. Use this a couple times. You could make your own spice blend. They sell pastes that you can get. And then I'm just going to put a can of coconut milk in. And then I add more water to the coconut milk just so it's a little more stew-like, a little more soup-like, and also because sometimes the Instant Pot complains that it wants more moisture.
Yes.
So.
And this is our filtered water source over here, so it goes through multi-stage filtration.
I'm just doing a little less than a half a can of extra fluid. Put that in there. Stir it up. Let the spices blend with that coconut milk. You want to come and actually show them what it's doing? So there's.
Oh, smells good.
Oh, you know what? The other thing I want to put in there. Totally forgot. I purchased. I think I got to go with cashews tonight.
Ah, some nuts. Getting a little crazy around here.
Mm-hmm. on the Instant Pot.
Say the magic words. I love the tune it plays.
Yes, and make sure it's on the sealing side, not on the venting side.
Okay.
And then I just use the manual mode. I hardly ever use all these other buttons. Where's the manual mode? And then for some reason you have to hold it down to get it down. And I usually just put this in for 7-8 minutes. And that's the amount of time that it's going to stay at pressure after it reaches pressure. So
again, not instant.
Not instant. So it's going to take about 5-7 minutes for it to get up to pressure by building up the heat inside of here. And then it'll stay at pressure for 7 minutes, and then it'll start to release. And then you open it, and you've got food. And that's really all there is to it.
Yay.
So we can go back to chatting now.
Here, you can slide in, and I will get this aimed on you. I'll see what any kind of questions might come up. There we go.
My mom says hi from Melbourne.
Yay! So, we miss you.
So Eric and Jeanette are anchored right offshore from you, Mom.
I got my Sanford shirt on, supporting the local town. And cheers. Hollerbox, Willow Tree Cafe, when you fill a growler, they give you a stein for free. So I'm collecting steins now.
All right. How do you do? You just
click on the icon and it'll go over there.
Okay. Bing.
There we go.
Cool. So do boats have exhaust fans like RVs? And I wish. Ours doesn't. Maybe there are boats out there that have.
You mean a kitchen exhaust fan?
We have a kitchen exhaust fan, but we don't have like a fantastic vent fan.
Yes, some boats do, but yes.
We don't. I wish I did, because I sometimes really wish that we could have that airflow.
Yes, that's true. But we have a breeze booster.
We do.
But yes, that's up the front. Okay. What do we got here? There's a lot. Do you guys own the boat? Yes, we actually managed to pay it off this year.
Yes.
Just in time before the market went like boom.
Well,
so,
then went back
yeah,
up.
But yes.
But yes, we do own the boat. We bought it 3 years ago. We did finance it instead of cashing out investments and taking capital gains on them. And then we've just been working on making big payments on it as we can. And we did make the final payment back in February, just before our 3-year mark.
We've got somebody in New London, Connecticut wants to dive and give our boat an inspection dive. That'd be cool once we get up there.
Yes, or if you're in Florida.
Let's see. There's lots of questions popping up here. Oh, here's Joe asking, did you buy one of them gadgets at the Our Village Rally that makes the steam go sideways?
Yes, we did. We're going to show it once it's all done.
Yes, in about 10 minutes we'll be seeing this pothead thing shooting out. And actually, here, let me switch to this microphone. A little bit better audio straight from there, but ta-da!
Yep, we'll show that off. The potheads.
Yes. And Raised by Wolves wants to know what we're drinking today and tonight.
You're drinking. That's a.
This is called Red Otter Imperial Red from Sanford Brewing Company. Just filled this growler up today. That little loop video has this being filled.
Right, and I'm just having fizzy water tonight. I might have something later. Mike and Shauna want to know where we think of going once we're released.
Depends what time of year.
Yeah, it's so much. There's so many variables. So, assuming that there's some restrictions lifted this summer, June, July, well, that puts us at hurricane season here. And I feel safest here in Sanford instead of cruising around during peak of hurricane season. Right. So the boat will be staying here.
But the nice thing is we've got a lot of little day trips we can take with the boat, or like multi-night, overnight trips just a couple miles away. And we've got the van here, so we might do camper van trips. But our likely till hurricane season is past, we will be centered around the Sanford area.
Yep, and then we'll just play it by ear as to what's happening there, and what's if a second wave comes with the pandemic, or we're like everyone else, paused.
Ronald's pointing out that they're getting 8 to 12 inches of snow. They just drove up to.
They were in Florida where it's warm, and they went to snow.
Yes, and 8 to 12 inches of what? Snow? Oh my God. Like, we're running the air conditioner and we turned it off in here and it's already getting kind of sweltering. So I wouldn't mind a few flurries.
So James would like to know, do we miss the bus?
Okay.
And we always miss the vehicle that we're not on right now. I miss van camping right now too, but we're also we've only been aboard the boat now 6 weeks, a little, maybe less than 6 weeks since we got it out of storage. And we were already in transition to our boating season when this all came down. So we had been looking forward to returning to the boat for a long time. So that's one of the difficulties of having this nomadic fleet approach is we're always going to miss the vessel we're not on. But I'm glad for the pandemic and staying at home that we're on the boat because we have so many more amenities. We have more space.
We actually have an exercise bike on board. You don't have space for something like that on the bus.
We have a washer dryer, which we don't have any of the on either of the RVs. We have multiple rooms. We actually have 2 desk space now.
Yeah. I finished setting up a standing desk or stand sit desk up in the pilot house, and I got a stool, and so I've got my own workspace now too, which has been weird having 2 separate rooms and not being in eyesight of each other during our workday, which is like a first ever.
Yeah, it's been really cool and weird. So yeah, definitely appreciate the boat for
the space.
Yeah.
Speaking of washer and dryer, Harmonia asked how on earth did we get it out and trying to replace. I guess they got a similar boat. It was hard. When we were here in Sanford last year, our washer rusted out the bottom, the one that I guess original to the boat. So we had to get it out and replace it, and it fit down the hallway with about just enough space on either side to wrap it in a blanket so it didn't scratch the walls. And it took 2 hefty people pushing and pulling and near a hernia to get it out, but it was doable. I did most of it myself, and we just got a little bit of help for the hoisting it up the steps.
Yep.
And
whoever's out on the dock said,
hey,
you want some beer? And then Chris carefully researched one that would fit in with the same dimensions back in there and down the hallway. So we went with the Splendide. It's a ventless because a vent was never set up on this particular boat. So it's the ventless version of the Splendide.
Dolce Vita says, can a catamaran make the Great Loop? That's what they're interested in.
Yeah.
We actually, when we first started researching boats back 10 years ago, we were actually looking for a catamaran that could do the Great Loop, and we were looking at the Gemini catamarans. That was our first start down hunting boats, and then we decided sailboats were too much work, and we decided to go stay RVing and bought the bus and all that stuff. But yeah, we actually started off thinking about the Great Loop and thinking about sailboats all at the same time. But you do have to worry about your mast height, and you do have to take your mast down for a major chunk of the loop.
Oh, well, you're talking about, there's power cats, which are power boats with catamarans, and then there's catamaran sailboats. We know a lot of loopers that do power cats, and those are a great option because you got the low clearance, you don't have to worry about bridge heights. Your only concern is, there's less marinas that have dockage with the width for a catamaran because they are usually like 22 feet wide unless you go with the Gemini, which is more like a standard boat size. So finding dockage might be a little more challenging, but we know lots of loopers that do catamarans, both power cat and just demasting a sailing cat.
Okay. Looks like your mom is making plans to, when the lockdown ends, to go have ice cream with Captain Chris. Nice.
It's really cool. We did went on anchoring out with a video with Captain Chris and Elise. They're in Vero Beach. They teach classes about boating, and they're who we did our in classroom with stuff and become friends with them. And while my mom was cruising with us up and down the coast, we stopped in Vero Beach and went over to their house for a root beer float party.
Nice.
So it's pretty cool.
And Cheryl's here saying Sanford loves having us back.
Hey, Cheryl, thank you for having us back. Cheryl is the amazing manager of the marina who saved us a spot.
Makes us feel so welcome here.
Mike wants to know, can we do a boat tour of all the new mods? So if you check the channel, about a year ago we did a updated boat tour with all the mods that we've done up to that point. There's really nothing new since then, other than we completed putting 2 more solar panels on.
And there's other videos that have the solar stuff, right?
Yeah, there's really nothing major that
solar tour video as well.
Yeah, there's really nothing major that we've done to the boat other than just general maintenance stuff that wouldn't impact the tour or change that tour. So go look for that one. It's actually, I think, at the top of the channel, 2-year boat tour modifications. It's got a lot of views.
Okay. Now, almost got up here. And yeah, Dulce Vita is looking at a power cat, and width is not a big deal because you're not going to be as wide as any of the barges and stuff. So unless
you're going with a really big power cat.
Yes, you can look up the specs, and the Great Loop has got like whole picking your boat guides and stuff. But there's really not the width and length aren't a concern. It's draft and height are the concerns.
If you complete the loop, does that make you loopy? Probably.
Yeah.
Especially if you do it in 1 year. I don't know. After so many years on the road in RVing, the loop is 6,000 miles if you stick to just the main loop and don't get distracted by all these amazing side trips. That's a lot of miles. I mean, if you're an RVer, it's like, 6,000 miles. I do that in a year, no problem. Except for you're moving at 60, 70 miles per hour. When you're moving at 6, 7, 8 miles per hour as an average, that's a lot of driving hours over a year. That's a lot of attention to the moving part. And maybe if you're not used to full-time travel, that's exciting and fun. And that's like a normal first year for an RVer. But, too many miles for me. I would end up loopy if I did the loop in a year.
Yeah, it's a whole different kind of adventure to do it that kind of pace, because the advantage of doing it in a year is you're following perfect weather. And if you time it right, you're following the seasons. You have summer in Canada and winter in Florida and spring and fall in perfect conditions. So there's a reason to do it in a year, but then you're never any of the cool places for more than a day, which would drive us nuts. We'd love all the cool spots. So I'd rather spread it out over years. And
enjoying the monthly stays and really
monthly
getting to
stays are so much cheaper.
Yes. So we have a question about why did we choose to go with a ventless? Why did we choose to go with not use the exterior venting option? Number one, our boat wasn't set up for it, so it would have involved some cutting a vent hole and cutting holes in the boat. Not necessarily the thing I love to do.
It would have meant that the project was something that I couldn't just order one and swap it out. I would have to dismantle basically a big chunk of the bedroom, run the vent line, and cut a hole in the side of it went from being a big project to a huge project. Well, not huge, but it went from a medium-sized project to a big project to switch to a vented one. And
we honestly don't use the dryer portion all that often.
Yeah. We have a solar dryer.
We have a solar and wind dryer. So we actually will just do like the first 10, 20 minutes of drying, stop it, and then we take it up on and hang it upstairs and let it dry. We just do our washing on a nice day when we can dry outside. I prefer that anyway to drying in a dryer. It's very rare that we actually use a dryer feature. And we have gotten used to that because the one that the broken one that we replaced, the dryer feature never worked on it anyway. So we had gotten used to drying outside and just discovered we loved that anyway. So why go through all that effort for something that we might use once a year?
Yes. Okay. And Joe's throwing up the links to the tour.
Thanks,
and everything.
Joe.
Thank you, Joe. There it is for people watching all the tour stuff.
Cindy says they're playing reruns of the RVers on Discovery Channel. And yes, season 1 is back on Discovery Channel right now. And apparently mid-May, I think sometime mid-May, season 2 premieres. So they'll finish up season 1 and then it goes right into season 2. And I went and looked on IMDb and it looks like we are in episode 2. We're talking about entertainment. But it'll be the only episode that we appear in season 2. We probably won't be doing much going forward just because of the logistics of filming.
Yep. But yeah, it'll be kind of interesting to see us back on TV again. And let's see. Hi from Timber Pines. Is that my mom maybe? Or somebody must know my mom for sure. Hey, hello.
KLD. Is your mom?
I'm thinking that could be her.
Okay.
She's not quite 30 yet. I think she's still 29.
So Doc Type wants to know, when the stay in place order went into place, did you have an issue finding a marina to hold up into? So we saw that stay in place. We expected those stay in place orders to come in. And once we started to get concerned that we might not get, we saw marinas shutting down. We reached out to Cheryl here at Monroe Harbor Marina in Sanford and asked her if there was possibility of us coming in now, and she said, yes, your slip is ready.
We reached out way ahead of the curve because it was pretty obvious, if you're paying attention, that this was major lockdowns were coming. So that's why we shot up the river, shot from Savannah to here, did not pass go, did not collect $200, and just got here as quick as we could, just so we knew we'd have a safe spot.
Yes.
Okay. Outside drying until the midges arrive. So far, been minimal midges, and the midges don't come until like twilight. So
if there has been midges around, because they usually come out for 2 or 3 days at a time, they are around during the day. And no, we don't dry then. We wait for non-midge days, and they're about to spray the lake here, which apparently makes a huge difference in the midges. So that should be good.
Yeah, you could look back to some of our videos. We know we scared some people away from Sanford because of our Midge video.
But we did that mostly so we could make sure we could have a slip here.
Yes.
No. Johnny wants to know, seeing as I don't have cable, do you know when the RVers is coming to PBS? It went to PBS in January, and it's up to the local PBS stations if they pick it up or not. So contact your local PBS.
Yeah, and I went Googling around, and there's like PBS stations all around the country. I found it in Chicago. I found it in New York City. You just got to look their local listings. I'm surprised there's no central place to look up PBS listings, which is just bizarre, but they're all independently run stations, and some of them are basically just run by one or two people. So nobody's bothering to put that up. You got to go check local listings and find where the show is. But you could also get the show on Amazon and iTunes and stuff. It's a paid. You have to buy the season that way. It's not a free.
Yeah, broadcast. I would definitely, if you can watch it on PBS, or you can buy it on Amazon or iTunes, Apple TV, whatever they're calling it now. It's better there because you don't have all the commercials, and you get the extra 5 to 6 minutes of content in the middle, which is getting a profile of an RVer. Which I think adds more of a story to the other. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of different topics being covered that may not necessarily flow from one to the next. So,
I've got one question here. We're almost down to the 1 minute countdown left on the Instant Pot, so we'll be switching back to the second. But La Jolty Arvita says, RVing options in Sanford.
So there are a couple commercial RV parks in the area, not within walking distance of the downtown that we love, but you could definitely drive in. And
there's a county park biking distance.
Yep, there's a county park. I think it's Volusia County, or is it Seminole County? Maybe Cheryl can.
But it's right over by the bridge that we have to go under as we enter the lake.
Mm-hmm. So it's in biking distance of downtown, and they're about to finish one day the walking trail from there to here. And we've had several friends when we stayed here last winter who visited us and stayed there. And it's a cute little county park.
Yeah, very cute.
Mm-hmm.
And okay.
Any other questions?
No, we got a lot of great comments, a lot of thumbs up. Thank you guys. Thanks for that always. And there's the Instant Pot beeping.
All right, so we'll switch back to the Instant Pot. We'll show you off the pot heads.
The face sauna thing. Okay, let me switch the microphone back to this one, so we'll get the sound. Back to the iPhone. Important cat shot. See, she moved. She got closer to her toy. And now.
All right, so when your Instant Pot recipe is done, there's 2 ways you can let the steam out. You can just let it do a natural release. It usually takes about 10 minutes. Or you can speed it up, switch this over, and steam just flows out. A lot of us that live in mobile homes, RVs or boats, we have lower ceilings, or we might have cabinets over where your Instant Pot is. So some fellow RVers invented this. They actually have these made. She carved it out, but it basically diverts the steam out the
beak
of the
She's
bird.
apparently got a new design of the dragon. You don't need the full piece. You got that's it.
Okay,
yeah, that's the small one. Yeah, it's good. It comes in a universal size depending on your Instant Pot.
Apparently she's got. We saw her prototypes. The other one she's making. Pot heads is where you can find it. Potheads.com. So that just goes on. You just put it on top, right?
Yep. And now don't blast yourself in the face with the steam.
Yeah. So you don't go in front of it. But this.
And now you get the nice steam. You could actually hang your laundry in front of this and get the wrinkles to come out. Ooh, that smells good too. It also disperses the aroma of the food. Oh wow, it smells really, really good. And again, not instant.
Not instant.
Nothing about this pot is instant.
And you don't have to get one of these.
Yeah.
But if you meet the people who make it, they're so incredibly adorable. You have to get one just because this was invented out of love. It really was.
And it looks how cool that thing looks.
It does.
And it drools too. It's like dripping into the baby's mouth.
And I think it was like $18. It was like,
why not?
Why wouldn't we support a local, a fellow RVer
in their business
and purchase one of that? Okay.
It's still not done. Again, not instant. We're waiting for that little thing to drop so that the door
that indicates when the pressure is low. It'll drop. There it goes.
There it goes. Okay.
All right. And now you open it.
More pretty music.
And there, you've got food.
Woohoo! Oh, it's bubbling. This was only smell-o-vision, you guys.
There you go. The potatoes are just about perfect.
Yeah, the Instant Pot does make amazing food. It does. Well,
wait a minute.
The
Instant Pot does not make amazing food. The person who makes the food that goes in there makes amazing food. Be careful.
Give credit.
Now, we're not actually eating this tonight because we did takeout when we bought the growler. We're actually going to package this up and it's going to be food when we go out to eat.
Well, we're going to taste a little bit of it, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe later. Normally I would also make up some rice on the side to go with it, which I didn't do. All right.
Let's sit down, take a final question or two, and then I guess that's it for us. Bing. Oh, it smells so good in here now. Oh, I didn't mean to leave that up there. There needs to be a dragon pot head.
There is. One of their prototypes. They have a dragon, and I'm trying to remember what the other one she's creating. But she had the design. She showed us the prototypes when we met her.
Yes. And, okay, somebody points out 20 minutes is better than 4 hours, but I guess because we've never used a regular pressure cooker or regular, we never kind of cook 4-hour meals, so...
I would never do something that made 4 hours. When I made curries, I would do them stovetop, and it would be the same amount of time, really, and then I could adjust it as I went. So, Johnny, like, remember, there's sharp things in the kitchen.
Our chef is amazing. And I just actually put the Instant Pot to use last week. Made white chicken chili.
Yes, you did. Yes. And he actually filled to the top of the Instant Pot with all the ingredients, and it made enough for. I mean, we froze one, we refrigerated one, and enjoyed one that night. So we've actually got another one to eat.
Yeah, so it's smart to plan ahead for leftovers.
Yes.
Hey.
So Jim is asking tech questions. So
he's asking what the opinion on Wi-Fi 6. So I'll give you a sneak preview of check the mobileinternetinfo.com tomorrow. We've got a major story coming out about Wi-Fi 6. He's been working all day.
He's been working on his story all day long. We have the Mobile Internet Resource Center channel, which is our work channel, and we'll be creating a video for that. That should be out probably tomorrow or Tuesday. Yep. But his story should be out tomorrow. I'm actually going to have to work this evening and get it ready to go.
Yep.
So.
Cool. Hey. Joe is so in need of some Thai food, and Joe, we're so in need of some Joe time. So as soon as this all lifts, we're looking forward to having you over for some food. As long as you're still in Florida, we're still in Florida, it's going to work.
Yes.
Sure. Lots of great comments tonight. Thank you guys all so much for joining.
Yes. So thanks for joining in. Let us know if you want us to keep doing this, thumbs up and comments and all that sort of stuff. Help us keep inspired to come do this again. Try to come up with something more interesting to talk about, but there's really not much to talk about these days. It seems like we're on a Groundhog Day treadmill.
Yeah.
Some days.
Mm-hmm. It does, but which has also been kind of nice to get in a routine sometimes, I guess. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Somebody wants to link to the Instant Pot duck. It's potheads, headz.com, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's... Yeah, Joe, can you find the potheads and put the link in there? I'll put it in the comment, in the description of the video, so you can go back later and look at it.
And, we got a drinking question. Are you willing to slum it with rosé, or is it always red and white?
We don't do
rosé a lot, but sometimes they're good.
Yeah.
I definitely have some good rosés. And people want more of these, so we'll see. We'll definitely consider it. Leave the comments, particularly if you don't watch this live, and we only know how many people were here live, but let us know. Shall we give them our Taste of Sanford outro loop, I guess?
Yeah, we're going to end this with, now that you've seen what our life is like marooned here, or heard about it here in Sanford, our little loop video that we put together will show you some of the things we've been doing. Just keep in mind, we don't do this all the time. We actually only leave the boat maybe once or twice a day at most for a walk.
We'll usually go for a walk in the morning and take the trash out in the evening, and then another little walk or something.
Yeah, we really only get takeout once or twice a week.
Yes.
The video makes it look a lot more exciting.
Yeah.
But
remember, all these cards, this is over the course of a month so far. Yep. So I'm working on my t-shirt. I think I got another 4
more to go.
Get my I Stimulated Sanford shirt.
So, Johnny, like I said, maybe you could take a video of the SpaceX launch for the next one. And we did take video of the SpaceX launch. You can't see it well enough from here.
It's because the wide angle lens on the drone. I tried to get a shot of the launch over the drone, but the rocket was just too tiny.
Oh, Potheads is here.
Oh my gosh, they're watching.
Debbie Long is the inventor. We told you. They're awesome. Told you we integrated in there, Debbie.
Hey. Oh, there they are. Bing.
All right, guys, have a wonderful rest of your Sunday evening, and we'll see you next time.
Here's the outro.